Hey, welcome back to video number 8 of our Asia map, map of the month. We did, in the last video, we did some rivers, and I mentioned that you could add more rivers if you wanted. I wanted to explain how you could go about doing that. I'm not sure if I mentioned too much about sources of information, but it's always nice to have an atlas, a book of maps available. So if you can get your hands on an atlas that has some detailed information about various countries, you can get lots of information from an atlas. You might not get as much from a globe, but you could get some information from a globe as well. They come in all sizes. Okay, and you can maybe there's a big globe in your classroom you could look at, get a little information from. In addition to that, you can find information online too, and various places. But one of my favorites is a site called the CIA World Fact Book, and that has information on every country in the world. So that's a good one to rely on if you want to look up more info. Okay, so in this video, we're going to be finishing off the countries of Asia. We've got about 9 more countries to add to our map, and I'll just go through them real quick. I've finished off the list on the back. We have Kuwait, Timor-Leste, Qatar, Lebanon, Cyprus, Brunei, Bahrain, Singapore, and the Maldives. Those are some islands. Okay, so why don't we just finish off these remaining 9 countries, and some of them are getting quite small. Okay, Kuwait is just at the base of Iraq right here, that country right there. So I think I might put a little leader. There's plenty of room up here in northern Saudi Arabia. Maybe I could just write it here and put a little leader line. Kuwait. You could also use that number system if you wanted, but I think I'm just going to use the leader line. Okay, Timor-Leste is a small country right down here near Indonesia. In fact, this island right here is the eastern portion of that island is Timor-Leste. So I'm going to write it up above, and then there's actually a tiny little, you can hardly draw it in, but there's a little tiny piece of the land on this part of the island too. You could look it up on that website I told you about. Timor-Leste. Timor-Leste. Okay, that's a very little one right there. Okay, now the next one, Qatar, and that's that little peninsula. It's almost hard to see on the map, but just coming off of the country of Saudi Arabia. I'm going to put a little leader line and write it over here. I have room in Iran to write it. Qatar. Qatar. All right. The next one is Lebanon. That's a little bit easier to label. I'm going to put it over here above the word Israel, and I'll put a little leader line. It's just north of Israel. in the list that I had, Lebanon was listed as a little bit small. I can't imagine it being smaller than Qatar, but anyway, that list might be a little bit wrong. But mainly, we're more concerned with the location, and that's Lebanon right there. Okay, very close to that is an island called Cyprus, and I can put it above Lebanon. Cyprus. I'll put a little line pointing to that island. Make that stand out a little bit. You can put a little bit of blue along the coastline of that island. And this is the Mediterranean, so we could put a little blue along that coastline as well. I'm not going to put too much. I don't want to cover those words up. Okay. Now we've got the country of Brunei, and that's back down here in Southeast Asia. I might have to put it right about here with a little leader line. Brunei. And I'll put a little line to it right there. Brunei. Okay. Here's a very small country called Bahrain. I'm going to write the word Bahrain above Qatar. I'm using a lot of this open space in Iran to label some of these countries. Bahrain. And it's just that little island right there, just next to Qatar. I'll put a little line pointing to that little tiny island there. All right, so we're getting there. We've got, let's see, I think that's number 47 in the list. 48, Singapore. Now, Singapore is very unique because it's technically the only, they call it a city, island, and nation. City, island, nation. So it's a city, but it's also an island. I'm going to put a little blue right here because it is an island. There's water that separates it from that peninsula there. Okay, and I'm gonna put it on a little bit of an angle. SINGAPORE. And I'll just put a little line pointing to that tip of that little peninsula. And they call it a city, island, nation. The only one in the world that's supposedly those three different names. Okay, and last but not least, we have the Maldives, which are this big grouping of many islands. They're very tiny islands, but they're all grouped right about there, just southwest of India. Maldives, Maldives. Now you might be wondering why I've only got 49 in my list, and on the side over here we have 51. Well, I figured out the reason, and part of it is because we have listed Papua New Guinea. But technically Papua New Guinea, I've labeled it on the map. Here it is. Papua New Guinea. But technically that's considered part of Oceania, not Asia, even though it's on that, shares that island with part of Indonesia. Kind of, I guess it's the very edge of Oceania. So, all right, and then there's one other discrepancy. I listed Egypt as a country, but it's really only this little part of Egypt that they call it the number 15. I put a 15 in there to represent the Sinai Peninsula, that little Sinai Peninsula, which technically is kind of on the Asia side of the Suez Canal right there. You can, if you want to put that little Suez Canal line right there, which connects the Mediterranean and the Red Sea. So that's the only part of Asia that, I mean, Egypt that's on this map. Okay, the rest of Egypt is in Africa. Okay, so that's why you have a slight discrepancy in the number. But that's the number I've come up with there, 49 different countries. Okay, well, I think that's pretty good. If we can get those remaining countries on it, that will round out all of our countries. And I think in the next video we'll talk about some of the desert areas, mountains, and a very large forest. So get ready for that in the next video. All right, thanks.